YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here together again. And in today's video, we are going to be reviewing the newest HBO Max original film, Mortal Kombat. Now, I will say this: I didn't actually review. I mean, I kind of did review the original Mortal Kombat to get ready for this one. But if you want to go see my thoughts on it, well, more like score on the movie, just go look up Nicholas Montez Mortal Kombat 1995 review, and you'll see it. But with that said, let's get started talking about Mortal Kombat 2021. So the first thing you really gotta talk about with this movie, is the action sequences. Oh my gosh, guys! If you're gonna go watch this movie, I'm not saying I want you to, but if you are going to watch this movie this weekend on HBO Max or in the theater, I just gotta say that the best thing about this movie is the action sequences. I was like, oh my gosh. This is everything I absolutely want. Now, of course, maybe it's just me because it kind of reminds me of Aquaman, because Aquaman has some very good action sequences, and it's not just because it's long takes, which it is, and it has big CGI, which it does, and has very cool hand choreography, which it does. I love when different characters just rip things off of buildings and then just start beating people up with it. That's kind of what this film does a little bit. And it mostly has to do with well, I wouldn't say it's similar to Aquaman with them grabbing things and beating people up with it, but like weapons that are not theirs. That's what I feel like the action sequences do in this film. And really, if you don't know, they released the first 7 minutes of the film earlier this week, and that first sequence is probably one of my favorite moments of the movie, because it sets up what the story is they're telling, and it sets up what happens later in the movie, where Hanzo returns to beat Sub-Zero's ass, and then it's emotional as Hanzo's family dies and gets frozen by Sub-Zero, and then he just starts beating people up with a knife and just starts swinging everything, and they just start and the music in the background is just so fantastic. It's fantastic. All the special effects are pretty good. I can't really think of any special effects that did not really work in this movie. All of them really worked. And some of the action sequences also get creepy at times. There's this girl that Sonya Blade fights, and she stabs her, pulls the little what do you call it? This little sword fork out, and then she starts licking the blood off of it, and I'm like, this is so creepy. And it's but I thought it worked, and she has this mouth that this is creepy. So it does the action in very weird ways, and I thought it worked. And also, Kung Lao, I thought he did a really good job as he used his hat as a frisbee type shield. I thought it was really cool the way they did that, and as he was training with the other champions of the earth. I thought it was really well done. So the action is just really good in this film. But also, you guys talk about some of the other stuff. I thought the characters were pretty interesting. I would say that the best character of the entire film is probably Jax, because he has that arc of getting his arms ripped off by Sub-Zero, and then getting robotic arms and not being able to use them that much because they're basically useless. And then he gets the full arc where his arms turn bigger. I thought it was a nice arc that they did for him. And then Hanzo's son, I thought was handled in a very nice way. I thought that his dynamics with his family, were really good. I kind of like the human. I kind of like the normal world human vibe of it. And I also liked some of the other characters, like Kano. Kano was likable. I thought Kano was likable until he gets to the villain side, which we'll talk about later. And then I also like Sonya Blade. I thought she was a complete badass. She was very cool, especially when she was fighting Kano when he turns bad. And just all the other characters I thought were pretty interesting. I will say this: I kind of wish we got a little bit more depth with Kung Lao and Liu Kang, those characters, and of course Raiden. I don't think Raiden was in this movie a lot, and I thought that he would be more in the movie, but who knows? But I like those characters. I thought they were exciting with the action sequences, but I wish they were better in this film. And you know, I guess I guess that once it got to the end, I was kind of excited that I wanted a sequel to this movie, because as Raiden said, I guess he said that this time there are more guys, so we gotta be prepared. So if they all of a sudden announce a Mortal Kombat 2 in the next day or so, I'll be excited because I want to see more of the action sequences, these characters, and just a very good film. And also one more thing is that I love the music in this film. It's just some of the best. And another thing I want to talk about is that there is certain actors in this movie that are actually from the MCU. Like, you have the guy that played Hogan in the Thor movies, and then you have the Chinese guy that Hawkeye's Ronin fought in Avengers in Tokyo in Avengers Endgame. So I don't remember the other guy that another character fought, but I thought that I kind of liked the way they brought other characters from other movies, from the Marvel movies. I thought that they did it very well. So, yeah. So I like the way they brought those other characters from the other movies. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2021. Now let's move on to the bad. So for me, I feel like I kind of have a little bit more problems with this movie than the good. On one hand, I thought that the story, well, obviously the story is pretty simple. A bunch of these people that have been chosen have to come together to stop this evil force, and I don't feel like the story was explored well enough. We don't really explore where these bad guys came from, and we don't really explore anything about them. Like when Sub-Zero attacks Hanzo's family at the beginning, even though it's a very cool sequence and it's emotional and it has very, very cool action, you don't really understand of why he did that. It'll probably make sense if I played the Mortal Kombat video games, but besides that, the story just feels kind of weird and the villains don't feel impactful. And I just wasn't the biggest fan of Kano being a villain. I didn't really think that worked. And then also bringing that four-armed monster back, I just didn't think he fit the film. I just felt like that, like I felt like with the other characters, like the leader of the bad guys, I felt like that there's something about them that I felt like should have been different, because he had main crew members with him. Those were really the only people in there, but he didn't have but then he brought a monster in there, and it's like that. I mean, it's a cool sequence. It has that arc of it, of the character getting his new superpowers, but I just don't think it makes sense of that. That's a part of your army, but why are you sending? But you said you're gonna send armies next time, so why are you sending a part of your army? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So for me, I just don't there's a couple things I really like about this movie, but then there's just a couple things I don't. And also, one more thing before we get on to my scores. And this is actually good. I forgot to talk about this in the good. And that when they got their superpowers, I thought it was actually really pretty cool. Especially when Liu Kang and Luke Kang Lao, when they were like calling Kano a failure, and then he started getting all mad. Like, I kind of thought it was a very intense scene, because I thought they were gonna fight at one point, but no, they did that to get his superpower, and I thought that was actually a pretty cool way. And it was kind of funny at the same time. So that's my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2021. Before I give you my score, be sure to tell me down below, what did you guys think about Mortal Kombat 2021? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? We're right there in between. Let's get some nice discussions going. With that said, let's get on with my scores. Alright, so that is it for my Mortal Kombat 2021 review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram name is Marvel6, and my TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my about section so you can follow me on those social medias. Also, I'm on Letterboxd, so you can follow me on there. It's the same name as my Instagram, Marvel6_, well, Marvel_6_. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.